What's up, traders? This is Marco. We have Friday, the 21st of July. I have another bar by bar for you today, and in front of you, you can see the 2000 ES tick chart. I'm trading with the Ninjatrader platform, and the only indicator that I'm using is the 21 EMA, which is this pink line here. Usually, I'm coming to the computer around 7:30 in the morning. And this is what I saw at this point. So prices were trending above the EMA. You can see some higher lows going higher here all the time. So what I was seeing and testing, I was testing this trend line here. And usually I'm drawing the overnight lows and highs when I'm coming to the PC. Also, this here looks like a bit of a range, but in general, you can see prices are staying above the EMA. So the bias right now is bullish. I'm looking for potential longs right of the key entry point, which is, for example, this EMA or a trend channel support line. And we take it from here. So prices are pushing strongly higher here, breaking this channel and making a couple legs to a new high, like first leg pullback, second leg, and now correcting. On a lower high, for example, I would be interested in taking a scalp back to the EMA, because this spike here played out by a break and new high. I'm drawing my overnight high to the latest high here, because we are still in the overnight session and markets are opening at 8:30, and as you can see my cursor, it's 8:12. So right now we are still in the overnight session and we are getting here a lower high, which is interesting for me because, as I said, this shorter term channel here played out and we're getting a lower high, and there is enough space back to the EMA to take a potential scalp. But if you consider such a trade, then please notice this is an aggressive trade. But I like those kind of trades because after such strong moves here, you will see a correction back to the EMA, and this is happening mostly like when the channel played out. So I'm marking this here as a lower high, and you would be out of the trade. You would get your scalp. You should plan maximum scalp back to the EMA, and if you get more, then of course this is always a gift. So I'm drawing the shorter term channel, and you can see markets are opening here. This is the change of color here of the background. We're having a shorter term trend channel working lower with a break and a new low. So this shorter term channel here could be played out, or there is a bigger structure in play. Usually channels are progressing during the trading day. That means you start with the smaller scale channel and then grade them up to bigger scale channels and even bigger than that. So you have to test all the time for potential channels. So this here broke and made a new low, and now we're having some shorter term channel working high. Also here you can see a break new high. Right now there is no clear bias, so we are going up, we're going down, we are slicing through the EMA. So this is usually a sign of a range, and right now there is no clear context, no clear direction, and whenever this is, we are staying out of any trades just to be sure until we get a clear picture of what we are having here today. Prices are moving sideways here, so I'm drawing a range, for example like this, or can be even like this, but I will draw it like this now. No wheel set up here. Let me zoom in. This is a very small bar, but it's in the middle of the range. If this bar was closer here to the range support, maybe considering some long trade here, only 4 ticks, but with this close to the middle of the range, staying out here. And you can see prices are leaving this range here to the low side. We're breaking out here, testing the breakout, but you can see prices get rejected and trending lower from here. So there could be another downtrend in play here. Let me draw it like this, so we can play with this channel now. When I'm seeing such a channel, then I'm switching my gears and I'm looking for shorts of the key entry point, of the EMA, of the trend channel, ideally with a second entry, for example. So I'm focusing now on short trades, but you can see we are not even pulling back to the EMA. It's very strong going lower here. The bears are clearly winning this, like, let's say, fight. And now finally we get a pullback to DMA, but this is only a first entry. You can see the new low here. So first entry, we would need a second entry to enter here. But right now I don't see any potential trade here. So we are pulling back and we are getting a potential second entry short, but you can see this bar is not back to the EMA. So we really have to wait for something better here, because you could enter the trade here and prices are pulling back to the EMA and then go lower, for example. Now it's looking congested. So can even draw the shorter term range here. And now there is some interesting setup, because you can see prices are coming back to the EMA and they cannot break this EMA. You can see prices stay below this EMA. And if you draw like this shorter term range here and look at this last bearish bar, you can see prices coming above the EMA and getting rejected the second after. With this strong momentum, I was watching this live and I also took this trade here. With this momentum working lower here, you can be sure that when prices are ticking in this area here, just below the range, then all the traders that are within this range, that took trades within this range, are getting stopped, that they put the stop loss orders here. And when prices are ticking below this area here, then many stop loss orders are getting hit. And also notice this very strong bearish bar here. Pretty much all this like candles that followed after this are within this huge bearish bar here. And really, if you saw the momentum here, because prices came up here and then immediately getting rejected and going lower here, finishing at the range low. So taking an engulfing setup here, so taking a short right one tick below this bull bar here is a bit risky, I agree, but taking the context, we are trending lower here and we have just a first break here right now. Let me draw this a bit better so it's not that ugly here. So we have a potential first break. So we want to see a retest of the lows, and there's a lot space for a retest here. And with this play, with this momentum play here, that prices are coming low here and stopping out all these long traders here, you will have a potential very good setup here. And you can see after taking this trade and the reaction after that, that many long traders got stopped here. It's going way lower here and you would be out of the trade already. It's even worth to draw a shorter term trend channel here, because this is so strong bearish. So that means really many traders had to cover here and had to buy back their long trades. Now you can see prices made a new low. We had this break here, so prices made a new low. And now we are pulling back to the EMA. This is a first leg pullback. then some little correction, a second potential pullback, and we are breaking this channel here again. So this channel here could be played out, and by now we are not looking for any more longs, so shorts, excuse me, because we are looking for longs, because this channel here played out. But right now I cannot see any trade because this is a bit too early. Then it's getting congested here, and this bar here is finishing way too high, so we cannot take a trade here. And we see there is a potential break here already of this channel, so we are making a new high here, even a couple of legs to a new high, and now we see some resistance forming up here. This is a bit similar, it looks a bit similar to what we had here in the overnight session right before the opening. Prices spiked up here, made a break, a new high, and then forming a lower high. We have a similar situation here. Prices are trending higher, breaking here, making a new high. So maybe a potential lower high which is coming here could be an interesting trade. But the issue with this here is that there is not too much space back to the EMA. So maybe if you want to drop a limit order, a few ticks back here to take a scalp back to the EMA, then that could be a good trade here, but of course an aggressive trade. That would have worked for sure. And prices are trending lower, so we are drawing always our shorter term channels. Breaking here, potentially making a new low. Also, if you see the bigger context, maybe this channel here was still in play like this, and we then had a first break with two legs here, and then a correction to a new low or a retest of the lows. That could be also possible, but in any way, this trade here is still valid, even if you draw this channel a bit bigger. So we have a channel working lower, break, new low. So this channel here could be played out by now. And right now, the context is not very clear. This downtrend here played out for sure, this downtrend here as well, and now it's like going up, down, up, so maybe there's a range in play. We have to wait for some setup. This is a higher low here after the retest of the lows, but I think it's too early taking a long here, and also it looks a bit congested, so we have to wait for some further confirmation. Now there could be a potential failure, but this doesn't change the fact that it's like really congested here, so we have to wait. This is under the EMA. It's a perfect bullish bar, but unfortunately under. Also there is some support coming up here, and prices go higher, so maybe we can draw some uptrend. If you consider this trade here, I don't like it too much because it's above the EMA. I would like to see it ideally coming back to the EMA, bouncing off here and then taking higher. Also, it's a bit congested, so better staying out. And maybe we have to increase this channel a bit. Breaking the channel now with shorter term channel here. Break, new low. This is congestion. I'm drawing this always so you guys see this. So this channel here is broken for the first time. Also this shorter term channel played out. So we want to see a retest of the highs here. This is still the same high. This is no new high. A retest could be done here, but retests usually happen in two legs. This we cannot take for sure because it's a higher low, but look at this bar, and also it's way too far above the EMA. But this starts to look interesting because also if you take this low here, first entry, second entry, short failure, and somehow it's looking a bit like a higher low here. with taking support of the EMA and also testing the breakout area of this range. So if you consider this trade, I think I like this trade here, and you can risk it because we didn't make a new high yet, and usually prices are doing 2 legs to a new high. So you can risk this here with the support of the EMA. I think this bar, yeah, only 6 ticks. I think it's fine to risk it here. We call it now a failed second entry short. And I forgot to give this one here a name. That was the failed second entry long. You have new high here. First entry, second entry long failure because it's got trending lower here. And you would have surely a scalp here and even a bit more, and we are trending strongly higher here, so maybe there's even a bigger structure in play. We have to test this. Right now there's no clear buyers and it's going sideways here. I don't feel very confident taking a long now because we already have a new high here in play, so this uptrend could be played out. So we have to wait here a bit, and we really make a couple of pushes higher. So maybe there's a bigger structure, maybe even something like this, but that doesn't look too right. Let's stay for this. In any way, we have a break here and a couple legs to a new high already. So maybe I will just leave it how it was because this channel played out anyway now. And we have a breakout out of this range here. But the thing is to take a failed break higher here, so a short trade, because most breakouts fail in the first attempt. I think I would like to have a bit better bearish bar here. I think this wick here on the bottom I really don't like. So we need a bit of better bar, but you can see how prices are snapping back inside this channel here. There is a lower high here now. This is a potential, but this range is not too big and we are trading right into the middle of the range. If, for example, we get a lower high that is finishing a bit higher here, so we have more space here, then that could be a potential trade, but taking a trade in the middle of the range, I don't like it. Now we're getting another lower high or a failed second entry long, but it's the same story. It's in the middle of the range and it's very congested here, so I have to stay out of this. And we're breaking the range to the low side now. That could be a potential failed break lower, but this bar has 11 ticks. I mean, a couple of weeks before, this was the normal situation in which we were trading, but I don't like to take a 11 plus 2, so let's say 13 tick risk here. And also we already had a break here to the top side, so I have to wait. This would have worked, but I didn't really like the risk reward. Now we're getting another bounce of this range resistance here, and there is a break, a potential break, a new high already. So I think you can risk taking a short here. The question is just, is this trend channel looking like this or is it like this? This, of course, we don't know. If you stick to this trend channel here, we have a break, new high, and it's bouncing off this resistance, which was tested a couple of times already. And it's also a perfect bearish bar. 5 ticks, not too much risk. So I think you can risk this here as a, let's call it lower high. And it would have worked. You get some really strong bear bars working lower here. And prices really have no idea where to go because we are going back and forth within this range, forming some new support here. So maybe the range is like this. And then the midline here clearly have to see this is a lower high, but right into all this support, so we cannot take this. Excuse me, it's going lower here, so maybe there is some shorter term trend channel working. Can test it with this, coming back inside the range again. No trades that I see. Going higher here. Unfortunately, this is not a second entry short. I mean, it's a visual second entry because we have a new low here. So we have a first leg, pull back, and a second leg. But this is above the EMA. I know this was broken here for the first time, so there could be a retest of the lows, but we have the context of a range. So taking a short here, I think I don't like this. If this was finishing below the EMA, then maybe, but when we are not sure, we're just skipping, you know the drill. And prices are retesting the lows of this shorter term channel here, making a new low, forming some support. So I'm drawing this, and we're going lower from here. So maybe there is a bigger channel in play, for example something like this here. If you also draw the shorter term channel, we have a break, retest of the lows. So there are some potential channels now working lower. This looks a bit messy here, but this is how you try out, and this is how you test the channels. And you can see this channel lower here is getting tested right now. So yeah, we need a bit more price action. Prices find some support here. But yeah, right now we are waiting for prices to come back to the EMA or to the key entry point, which is this trend channel here, or this, if this is getting confirmed. So right now we cannot take any trade. We have to wait for more confirmation. And this is the whole trading day. One more time for you, zooming out here. We had this spike up, then this lower high, aggressive trade, then prices were pushing lower. This trade here I took live, so I really liked it. It was within the downtrend context. Then this channel broke here for the first time, made a new low or retest of the low, because we didn't make a new low. It was a retest, and then going higher again. So it's like an up, down, up. This was an aggressive trade, but still I like it with only 6 ticks. Prices made a new high of this uptrend here, then staying within this range. This was a failed break higher, but we were speaking about this. This lower high I like, and also the risk here, only 5 ticks. And now you can see prices clearly trend lower here, leaving this range and potentially testing again like this area here, I would say, if prices can break it. So yeah, that was it for today. I hope you had a good trading week. I hope you had some nice trades, and I hope you could learn something of today's bar by bar. Please subscribe if you haven't, and please also like the video. It gives us motivation to continue doing this, and I wish you a really great weekend and speak to you next week.